Hello Gemini, and welcome to your monthly forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be looking at the month of November, and you can always use this for Sun, Rising Moon, and Venus. This is also something that you can watch either in advance of the month or as the month is unfolding. I begin each and every one of my messages here with a channel download, then we'll get into the Celtic Cross. But first things first, let's talk about what I was seeing in dreams and meditation this morning. So for your sign, what I picked up, this has actually come through a couple of times, but for you, I'm focusing more on the sort of navigation capabilities of the dragonfly. And basically, I was watching one sort of hover around, do all of these interesting maneuvers, and I was inspired to do a little research and talk about how that might apply to your 6 to 8 week period here in front of you. So dragonflies have a unique feature because unlike other insects that fly, they have 4 wings that can be controlled separately, which allows them to make upward, downward, backward, all these kind of interesting maneuvers. And they also have highly sensitive eyes, at least to movement. As I did research, it's several times better than the human eye. We can see things at 60 frames per second. So a lot of fancy TVs or computers can display 60 frames per second. Dragonflies can see things at around 200 frames per second, which means that as one of their future meals flies by, they can actually see them almost in slow motion and get in there and do a precision sort of target. So I loved these two things, quick movement and the ability to see things coming. Those are really good messages. One thing that I take away from this is in this particular period of time, you have the ability to adjust, to navigate, and to change faster than you have in the past, maybe even faster than you give yourself credit for or others may assume is possible. So just go for it and go with it. See what happens here. You can move with the energy of change. You'll see that I featured the Knight of Swords, but I would also feature the Three of Wands as well. This is where basically the dragonfly is keeping an eye on the horizon, waiting for that perfect opportunity, in this case it would be a meal, to align, and then it goes for it. And I always mention that I like an active Three of Wands. This would kind of combine the speed and the active energy of the Knight of Swords with the Three of Wands, the ability to see something and go for it. And that really is what this month is availing itself to you to do, to basically go after that opportunity. Don't hesitate, because you have what it takes to make it happen. Manifest, attract, don't chase down opportunities. Set the stage for all of these things to come through, recognize when they do, and then go for it. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead now and give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through for this next 6 to 8 week period. Again, great to see everybody. We already have a volunteer card at the center. It's the King of Pentacles. Fantastic. All right, let me shuffle everything and we'll see what the cards have to say. Again, you can use this for your sun, rising, and moon sign. All right, beautiful cards, beautiful colors coming through as well. And let's begin with your catalyst first and foremost. We have the Cheetah card in reverse, and this is an indication of two things. Things are going to move quickly this month. One of your challenges is probably going to be knowing when and how to slow down, how to pace yourself. If not slow down, then at least pace yourself so that you have more than enough to carry you through the end of the month. When we look behind the cheetah, it's almost as if we also have solar energy like the sun. So this is a time here also, for some of you, it's kind of what I'm getting from Spirit is you don't have to prove yourself to everyone. You just have to feel really comfortable with what you're doing yourself here. So it's putting the lens inward and saying, I don't have to rush. I don't have to explain things to everybody. I don't have to, basically solve the world's problems in one day. Pace yourself. The cheetah can land on its feet just like the dragonfly. It's also really fast. And I feel like I'm not at all worried about your capacity to navigate change or opportunities. Just take your time to recognize them this month, and I think that's going to be more than half of the battle, and that's also going to give you what you need to succeed, okay? As I look at the cards here, your big opportunity this month is change. We have the Death card here. I love that the Sun card did come through here, so we see the sun shining through a couple of animals here. There's a little bit of a delay that is now ending, it feels like, and the main thing for you is knowing when to move. So, little preview as we're looking at the cards here, but let's go straight to that centermost card, the King of Pentacles. What a great card to start off the reading with, because this is a month where you can really start to manifest and create some exciting change and movement in your life. I'm just taking in all the beautiful symbols on this card. I think the main thing here, though, is he really does, it's a hands-on sort of energy. Very rarely do you see kind of the king rolling up his sleeves and focusing on something, but he is here. This is almost more of a pose that you would see with the Queen of Pentacles. But this is a month where maybe you're going to be sort of straddling that leadership and then also production role. So if there's something that's really important to do, I think that it's good to be hands-on. It's good to really feel like you have a stake in this and show others that you care. So this is specifically for those of you that may be leading something in your life, particularly at work or another sort of opportunity. Now, the King of Pentacles is, of course, ruling all things regarding resources. So if you need extra time, energy, money, or support this month, he can rally the support. So the fact that this came through at the center, not only is it auspicious, basically positive, it's also showing you that the more you take an interest, the more you believe, the more you invest, the more you're going to get back. Crossing this card was the Moon. So the Moon comes through on a couple of levels. First of all, it is a gentle card, as we see here. It's about subtle intuition that could be coming through in dreams or just persistent thoughts. It can also be something that you're afraid to face. Sometimes we're just afraid to face success. And we're afraid that, like, well, what if this does come true? What if my wish is realized? Sometimes we're afraid to step into a position of authority because with it comes additional sort of scrutiny and additional light. People are going to be looking at you. But it feels like things are lining up to set you up for success. Absent from this card are the wolf and the dog. And so we can actually take that as an auspicious thing. Competition isn't something that you need to focus on so much this month. Quality is, pacing yourself, that is. And then if something isn't to your liking, if someone's doing something legitimately like wrong, or if you feel like there's some trust issues that need to be dealt with, definitely have a heart-to-heart, take it on. And with this card not being in the reverse state, I would say assume the best until proven otherwise, but don't be afraid to ask, to investigate, to look at things. When you are honest, transparent, and accountable, cards like the Moon, the Devil, or the Seven of Swords, they really have no power. The Moon is one of the gentlest of the three, but it can show that something has been said, but there may be some strings attached. So be particularly careful, because this is basically business and money, and this is a string or caveat to that. I want you to look at contracts with a discerning eye. Get a lawyer. If you don't understand something, ask. If it doesn't feel right, speak up. Never agree to something that you don't understand, okay? Now, as we look at the deep past, we have the Six of Wands. It's success, folks. So for some of you, what I was just talking about definitely could be true. We see success. We see the desire to want to repeat it. We see the fear that it may be like one time only. That's not true. Don't sort of create a narrative before you've had an opportunity to explore the options. The Sun card is also really success-based, and it's right there in the crowning position. So slow down a little bit and really, first of all, have you had a moment to enjoy just how far you've come and celebrate the success or the progress that you've made? And there's different levels of success. It's not always about, getting a gold star or something. Success can be successfully navigating a challenging situation, successfully sort of being able to not have someone trigger you and all of this. So there's multiple levels of success. It's not just financial and, public acclaim and all of that stuff. It's, are you feeling like you're on top of things and basically accomplishing or ticking off that list of things that you had set out to do? If so, that is success. It's a very subjective word, and the criteria is something that you get to decide. And that's something that, it took me many years of deprogramming to understand. Like, we're taught in school that you do something, you get a certain grade, it allows you to do something. In the real world, it's more nuanced and complicated, and we don't get graded per se. And at the end of the day, we are the only one that's really kind of grading our life. So walk away from this a little bit, knowing that as long as you're giving 100%, as long as you're making an impact, that is a level of success, okay? We have the Hanged Man here in the recent past. It's okay to kind of hang out where you are right now. You're exactly where you need to be. I love the autumnal energy here. One thing that's kind of cool with this is we see all of these other trees changing, but the growth is still happening on the Hanged Man. So one thing and it looks like he's holding an acorn. Oh, that's so cool. So some of you might be planting a seed that won't even realize itself for one more solar cycle or next summer, like for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, or one more year. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with how long it takes for the next successful, quote unquote, successful thing to come to fruition. Continue to spark that sort of dream and energy with your heart, with your desires, and breathe life into it. The Hanged Man is hanging out with that idea too until they feel like it's exactly where it needs to be. Here's what you can gain perspective-wise from the Hanged Man. When you're able to look at something from a different angle, a lot of times you can see that it's better than you thought, or you can see someone's true colors, because we saw this when you slow down long enough to tune in, you may realize someone's a better match, or maybe this isn't what you're looking for. So basically, slow and steady not only wins the race, but also gives you the ability to make decisions that are grounded, that are solid, that are exactly what you need. Now, really closely investigating this card, we see a squirrel here, we see a squirrel there. So this person is holding on to their dream and protecting it. So we have a special note here for those of you that are artistic or an inventor or might be waiting for the right time. I agree. Wait for the right time and the right audience. The immediate audience may not be exactly who you want or need, and maybe this is something you're kind of keeping close to your heart until you're ready to birth it, to say, okay, this is what I want. Ultimately, folks, that's all that matters. You believing in yourself is like the ultimate magnet, and disbelief is like the ultimate sort of slowing down of things. So really focus on that preparedness and readiness. Here's the cool thing. It comes pretty quickly once you feel like, I've got this, let's do it. We have here the Sun, which is a baby. We have the Empress, which is a mother, or the ability to birth or release. And she's reverse, saying, okay, when it's time, it's really time. And then we have the Six of Swords here in the environment. People are ready to receive what you're ready to deliver, but only when you're ready to deliver it. Let's get to the Sun card, folks. This is a great card to have in the crowning position. So this is one of the ultimate cards of charisma and power. And I love how this particular Sun not only is in the crowning position, but we see it sitting right around the crown chakra of this beautiful animal. So elevate your thoughts and project out that feeling of confidence. Be the source of your own light. We actually have the Hermit card here, which always carries a star or lantern with them. And so this is basically about being that light And not only that, folks, when we looked at money and wealth here, which we will investigate a little bit more when I expand the forecast, it says, I was called here on a mission. Lo and behold, we have a star. So we have the sun, which is a star. We have the hermit, which holds a star. Now we have the star here. Things are looking really good when it comes to your money, your life purpose, your wealth. This is a month where you can really bring in some great stuff. What is the sun about? Like I said before, birthing, leading, and also having fun. Like a good smile can take you a long way with this energy. When you beam, when you light up, whether that's from humor, passion, engagement, whatever's causing your energy to just feel completely lit up, this is what is also going to pull in other people. Just like our sun is the centerpiece of our solar system, so can you be the centerpiece in a relationship, in a project, in your life right now, if you're ready to do that. There is that sort of question of comfort. If you're comfortable, are you ready? I love what we have here with the Empress card. She's reversed. For you, this is saying take care of yourself. Look at how beautiful she is, though. This is one of the best illustrations. This is the embodiment of everything. So it's basically saying, I think what's missing is the understanding is you are enough for yourself, for others. You comprise all the things that you may think that you're looking for in an outward sort of perspective. So a lot of times we put so much energy into achieving money or filling up spaces with things or trying to find the right connection. And this is saying the only connection that really matters, especially this month, not only is it this sort of inner confidence that we see here with the sun and the solar plexus, but it's also just the understanding that you are the channel, the vehicle, the vessel through which all of this flows. You're the one you're looking for. So focus on personal development this month, and anything that you feel like you want to see more sort of from this month, you can actually find that progress happen. And the other thing is just let go. She doesn't need to control everyone. She doesn't need to control everything. She doesn't necessarily even need to hold on to this any longer. This waiting stage was simply to get to the point that you feel like, I understand myself, I understand this, I believe. When you feel like you believe, then you can start to emanate whatever it is that you want, and then you're not looking to convince everyone, then you're not looking to control everything, then you can just simply be in this beautiful energy of being present. And I think that's the other thing here. Some of you are struggling a little bit with authority figures because you have the power, the potential, the wherewithal to make something happen. This could also be a mom, a boss, a friend that's tugging you in another direction. You've got one foot in the other direction. You're ready to go on that Six of Swords boat and see what new journeys await you. So if you're ready, opportunity definitely is knocking this month. Let's see how you're showing up. Wise, first and foremost, the Hermit is one of the best cards for wisdom. A little bit resistant, though. The Hermit in reverse is saying you may have actually gotten everything you needed to from this current experience, but there's a part of you that maybe either is enjoying the cloak of anonymity or is afraid to step into something new and unknown. Because the Hermit really likes to kind of have that sense of familiarity. Maybe is more comfortable looking in a book or being in the background. The reversal of this card is saying during this period, at least for a little bit of time, the next few weeks, you might have to step into the spotlight. People need your knowledge, your expertise, your support. You have a chance also to kind of go to a new level if you allow yourself. As we take a look at what's in the environment here, we have the Six of Swords, and I've pulled the traditional one here just for comparison. So your Six of Swords came through reverse, but let's just look at them both upright for a moment here. This one has a little bit more to do with release. So we see a funeral pyre, which can represent a transitional phase. So for instance, graduating from college, going through a divorce, starting a new job, any of these things, whether it's adding or subtracting, it's movement, and it's the change of who you are or who you were into who you want to be, basically. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, there's a more active energy here. There's a choice. Are you going to be the one steering the ship, or are you going to be the passenger? And that's really the question this month. With the card in reverse, it's a change here. It's almost like Some of you are deciding, I want to go in this direction, or I don't want to just be sitting here. I want to row the boat. And so if you want to do it this month, the cards are definitely supporting that more active energy, and myself as well. I think it's perfect in this moment in time. Movement and change was probably going to happen no matter what. And the more you are able to sort of embrace it, the more you are able to affect it. So I would say just be open-minded this month and look for opportunities in different directions. If I get death, 6 of Swords, 4 of Swords, and they're reversed, it could simply, and we have it right above this, it could just mean that change happens kind of in a way that you never anticipated. But we have at the end here a Knight of Cups, so it could be change for the better. All right, we have the Death card in the reverse state in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunities. So this is the end of stagnation. We have a beautiful bird that the Angel of Death is riding on here. And this is also the end of conflict. We can see a scene from a war here. And so this is basically saying walking away from stagnation, walking away from any sort of infighting or arguments, and finding peace. You know, the only thing missing here is the 4 of Swords, which is peace and calm. And so maybe that's what awaits you in the future when you kind of like step into the energy of change. The Death card in reverse can also be a decision to, once and for all, to basically do something for your betterment, your health, your well-being. Sometimes we need a wake-up call. Death or Judgment in reverse can be a close brush with death or a health issue or stagnation or all of the aforementioned. And sometimes we need that to kind of like wake us up. So if you have that wake-up call this month, embrace it and see where it leads. I mean, I like what we have in the outcome. It was reversed, but the Knight of Cups is about healing. And the Knight of Cups in reverse is basically saying, I'm ready to let go of the drama, the trauma, the emotional stuff that's been tugging at me in a different direction. I'm ready to follow my heart. I'm ready to embrace love and happiness. I mean, what's not to love with that, right? A lot of Piscean energy with all the fish on this card. And it feels like you're gonna be able to get a hold of whatever it is emotionally or energetically that you're trying to. But first things first, prioritize your mental health and your emotional health. Whenever I get one of the Court cards in the Suit of Cups in the reverse state, it's saying that in this moment, you can't sacrifice, you shouldn't have to sacrifice your happiness or health for the approval, for the support or success from other people. So this Empress card may be trying to make you do something that isn't kind of like copacetic for you. So for some of you, you could be stepping out of a relationship or out of an environment, because these really are connected to the environment, that just, it feels either like it's stagnating, it might be toxic, there may be, you may feel kind of like boxed in. And this is your chance for emotional liberation this month. When that happens, then the stars are the limit here, because we have 2 of them, the sky's the limit. So why don't we go ahead and expand the forecast a little bit. We'll take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off first with your health card, which comprises mind, body, and spirit. We've got more water coming through. She's in the upright position. Connect with your emotions. Well, hello. That sounds pretty close to what I was talking about with this, right? Different decks, but a very similar imagery and energy here. So when you're able to connect with whatever emotions you're feeling, they don't always have to be, top of the world, amazing, rainbows and unicorns. We can learn just as much from fear, anxiety, and pain as we can from joy and euphoria and all of that. So the thing is, we don't necessarily want to sit in the lower frequencies forever. You want to see why it's there. You want to kind of honor it and then release it. So if there is something going on where it's pulling you down for a second, think to yourself, why am I here? What can I learn from this? And what can I do to move in a different direction? But you have to kind of go to the root of the issue first. And then that's going to allow this sort of dream that we saw here to finally grow, and for you to feel that sense of confidence and power, which is ultimately going to bring on love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest forms. So it's a month to prioritize being happy. And if there's anything that is taking you out of that energy of satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness, then put some focus there and see what you can do to resolve it. And you definitely don't have to do that on your own. If you're happy, if things are going well, this is a creative card. So you may just have this wonderful, sort of rush of inspiration and creativity. You may also feel very ready for love and relationships in your life. This can be like an Ace of Cups bubbling over. I think many of you watching need to first do some of the work to get there, but this card is the promise of what awaits you once you do, okay? Protect yourself, embrace your emotions, allow yourself to really be healed this month, and then some beautiful things await you. All right, let's just look at the general energy of the cards and see if there's anything else coming through. As I mentioned, a close call for some of you. And it looks like ultimately things are okay because we have a card of control, but emotions attached with that. So if you had a close call with anything, just take that as a blessing and then make the necessary changes. It's difficult dealing with loss, with movement, and with change. So Six of Swords and Death can just be movement and change. It can also be the loss of someone, and it can be, again, moving faster than anticipated. All of these things can be emotional, and that's why your cards connected, well, at least this card connected with emotions is reversed. This is also why you may just want to spend a little bit of time to yourself. That's okay too. Take as much time as you need, but know that this card ultimately is saying when you're ready to come out of your shell, movement, change, and love await you. So don't stay in that sort of like closed off state too long. All right, let's see what else is coming through. King of Pentacles in the upright position is actually pretty fortuitous. Anytime I get him, I will say, try not to overindulge, but with him in the upright position, I feel like you'll be able to recognize where those overindulgent patterns are and try not to do them. This card can also rule things like your reproductive organs and even just sort of like general ability to remain hydrated. So pay attention to all of that this month, and if there's anything going on, obviously work with a professional. Some of you need to move more. Hanged Man and Death card, especially Death reversed, show stagnant energy. Any of the court cards, particularly the King, especially the Kings and Queens, can be a little bit stagnant. So we have a King, we have a Queen, we have the Hanged Man, we have Death. Then we have like the suggestion of movement here. So I would say for sure, get out there a little bit and work with your doctor to figure out what's the right amount of movement for you. But this is a good month to change up the routine a little bit. And that's the other thing here. Anything in your life, not just your sort of workout routine, but this is just changes in general to keep your mind kind of engaged as well as as all other parts of your body. So it's your mind, your body, your spirit needs some changes right now. So make the necessary changes. It could be a move. This can also be someone who is just controlling. This can be someone who is distant. We'll talk more about relationships in a second. Some of you may need to move into a place where you feel more support and love in your life. Okay. Again, just slow down and hang out for a moment before making the next move so that you move with intention. I always think that's an important thing. Moving from the health card to wealth. Wealth is resources, life purpose, and career. I was called here on a mission. What a perfect card to come through for wealth. So we have star energy associated with this. This is your chance, doesn't matter what age, what state of life you're in, to kind of align a little bit more with what your calling is. Each of us has something that we came to this lifetime and set up multiple milestones for ourselves, but typically there's one thing that you really feel passionate about. For me, in this part of my life, it's all about it's metaphysical development. Like I've talked about this before. Raise consciousness, have intelligent conversations about spirituality, and normalize those conversations. Those are some of my missions and purposes in life. Whatever I do on this channel has to align with those. Whatever I'm doing outside in the real world also has to align with it. What I've found, folks, is that I've started meeting people who are on a spiritual path. Whether it's a neighbor, whether it's a friend that I've known for a long time, or a stranger while I'm walking my dog. Invariably, when I start talking to someone, they're already awake or they want to be more awake. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, we're aligning. Once you get on your path, there's going to be more of that. So if you're a musician, you're going to meet more artists. If you're a teacher, you're going to find people that are looking to be mentored, or you're going to find inspiration for that. When you align with your mission, all the tools start to align, and that's why we have the King of Pentacles at the center. So This month, if you don't know what you want to do, it's a month to explore, to have some fun, to try on some new things. If, like me, you know, it's a month to put more intentional movement behind that goal. And you will probably be pleasantly surprised here. People are drawn to you, resources may land in your lap, something that you've been sitting on for a while may actually now have the ability to take shape or form, and you're going to see faster movement than you may have anticipated. Some of you also are intent on making changes. These are disruptor cards, Six of Swords and the Death card, just like the Tower, very much similar energy with this. And this is making people see things that they don't want to see, the Moon card. So revelation, change, and movement. So some of you want to change policies, laws, the world in general, hopefully for the better. And this is a chance to get people excited about it by using the passion that we saw with these two cards. So I like what I see there. Let's take a quick glance at this from 3 different perspectives. If you are brand new, like a student, or if you're re-entering at any stage in your life, we're going to look at that new energy first and foremost. See yourself as reborn. This is a baby, this is death, so this is rebirth. So this moment in time is yours and yours alone. If you're a student and you're younger, this is basically a reminder that you're not your parents and you have the ability to change and do things that they never dreamed of. If you're mid-life or career, it still holds the same energy if you're rebooting. Let's move on to that. So the main thing for students is to walk a path that really is fulfilling, not to fall into the trappings of expectations. Success is subjective. It's more important to have a path that is satisfying, and typically money, abundance, and success follow that sense of joy. All right, for those of you, and by one last thing for students, you might be changing your major. It's okay. It's better to do it now than later. Follow a path that you want. So we have a change here, and we have a rebooting process here, but it's a joyful rebooting process. All right, if you're in the middle of your career, everything I just said, there's still a little bit of that. You could be in a dead-end job. You could be in a place where you're traveling a lot. If you don't like the travel, then it's time to speak up and make the change. If you want more travel, you can definitely connect with that travel energy this month. Many of you want to be the boss, not the one that's bossed around. So I think it's important to speak up and be seen. And the Hermit reverse is coming out of the woodwork here, and it basically needs to use their voice and show people, hey, I've been doing all of this all along. You may not have anticipated it or known it or seen it, but I'm here. So it's making yourself more seen. Some of you are pivoting and restarting your career like I did 8 years ago. You can do it at any part of your life. It requires some work, but it's totally doable. And it feels like you have the capability. This is like having the green thumb. So the main energy I've seen so far is change. Change or making a difference or doing something for yourself. You may also be entrepreneurial and you're launching something. This can be a launch of a product. I think it's important for you to really, like I said, trust who you're working with and protect it legally if there is a new product or service. But other than that, I like what I see here. For those of you that are retired, not focused on working or want to see what else is out there, well, definitely travel and the ability for your communication or your skills to reach a larger audience, because this is a distribution card, not as strong as the world, but it's showing that you have the ability to reach people further than you ever thought. A really good time for marketing, for social media, even though you're not really looking at that. But if you want to kind of like, I think networking is what I would say for people who are retired. Network, and there is a chance to step in and do either consulting work or mentorship work or teaching if you wanted to. Otherwise, remember this. Just because you're not putting energy behind some sort of work product, it doesn't mean that all things are stagnating. This is now a time to do really exciting things because you've spent a lot of time supporting others. Now you can support yourself and do something compelling. All right, let's look at relationships here. Trust your feelings. We have the intuition card here, which is basically just like the High Priestess. It's reversed. And it's basically saying you either feel it or you don't in a relationship. Or if you think something's up, talk about it. Really honor what's coming through on an intuitive and an emotional level. Those subtle signs and symbols are really strong and definitely plugged into what the universe wants you to focus on, okay? Let's go ahead now and look at 3 different relationship levels, those in love, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in a loving relationship, we'll start with the highest possible read for this. There's a lot of movement and change. One partner may be long distance because of the 6 of Swords. So this could be maybe you may not be married right now, and there just may be this sort of balancing of how to sort of meet in the middle. So that's one challenge. Some of you may also be trying to move through, like I mentioned, a life change, a loss of a relative or a loss of property or something big. And so you'll be supporting the partner in that period, or you may ask for support in that sort of shifting and moving energy. There is definitely this, this is parental. So even some of you have a past life karma. So death can be the past life. The Sun and the Empress, this is mother and child. So one thing to be mindful of in this lifetime is you are on an even kilter, eye to eye, heart to heart. But in the past, it could have been a boss and an employee. It could have been a parent and a child. It could have just been someone who always got their way and someone who always listened. This lifetime, it feels like the tables are turning, or you're just finally seeing that you've always been very even. No longer do you have maybe the age or other differences that were there, or status or money. And so there's a chance to basically heal the need to sort of have that tug of war, your equal powers this month, if you will. Because again, we see 2 stars here. If it just kind of is hidden energy. One person is a little more subtle about how they express themselves. That doesn't make them any less powerful. Being quiet doesn't mean that you're not strong. Being loud doesn't mean that you're smart. So it's all about kind of seeing power in the subtle energies this month. And if you can do that, I feel like you can kind of overcome anything. The important thing to talk about this month, we have a card of fear or anxiety, and then we have one attached to money. Don't be afraid to talk about finances, money, debt, hopes, fears, all that stuff is really important. And the opportunity is to overcome stagnation this month. I feel like it's a good month overall for love, but if and only if you embrace the change. If not, then obviously there's a divergence of paths, but when you both are on board, then we see expansion and growth together. One or both of you have heightened emotions this month. We got a couple of really big water cards. So definitely, don't be afraid to intuit and ask about things. Never assume anything. If someone's acting out of sort, you could just say, it seems like there's a lot going on. Can I support you? What's going on? This isn't like you. Be there for them, basically, okay? Could be a new child coming in. This could be what's creating all the movement and shift, because this is motherhood and this is a baby. So whether adopting or surrogacy or birthing, some of you might have a new kid coming into your life. Congratulations if that's you. Okay, let's change it up here. Let's look at those that are looking for love. Yes, you can find it. We have the Knight of Cups as the outcome. So lots and lots of water. So definitely feeling, and I even saw like Piscean energy on this one as well. I think the main challenge for you is, are you there enough? By the way, this is true of the existing relationships. There's some distance. Sometimes it can just be emotional distance. So are you emotionally ready, or is the person that you're calling in emotionally ready? Are you ready for the change of your life, basically, that is going to be a new relationship? Because when you start to blend and when you possibly move and do other things, like the old version of you shifts out and there is a lot of change that has to happen. If you're ready and you're on board, it's coming, folks. And we have a really strong energy here. Kind of quiet, very sensitive, and past life karma for sure. The past life karma is what I talked about in existing relationships. One person is a little bit more bossy or outspoken, but the other person has the same intellect, power, and potential. So this month, just work on really being your most comfortable version of you, the strongest version of you, so that when you call in your partner, there are no lessons. It's a partner, not a teacher. And we have lessons with everyone, but it would be great if it was just more partner energy overall. So I think, yes, you are poised to pull in somebody this month. Lots and lots of water energy that wants to come through. So be open to that and take care of yourself. Finish whatever it is change-wise or development-wise that wants to happen. And you have a good chance of getting what you're looking for, okay? Now, if you are single and happy, we see a return to the sort of energy of success and, again, personal development. But there is almost like this, it's a internal question that's coming through, like, what's next? Well, the sky's the limit here. The main challenge for you is not to think that you're stuck, because that becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'd like you to instead think, what's next, and what do I want? What do I want to do? You have boss energy, you have birthing energy, you have creativity. You can do whatever you want with that. And it can reach, like I said, a wider audience than you might imagine. So I feel like this is just a great month in general. Creativity and empowerment are coming through loud and strong. As we take a look now at your destiny card, we have Krishna. And it's all about love, devotion, gentle energy. It says, trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. And honestly, this unconditional love for yourself, I think that's the biggest gift of the reading this month, is to look at yourself and your life without a big sense of anxiety or regret or anything other than the reverence of, look at what I'm doing and look at how far I've come and look at what I can still accomplish. Love, respect, and embrace yourself unconditionally. And then possibly put your energy to one thing that you feel really devoted to, whether that is something that is material, something that is spiritual, something that is relationship-oriented. That piece, my friends, is up to you. But the devotion is also the passion, and the passion is the power and the magnet this month. So your power is your passion, your devotion is the engine that feeds that, and you can accomplish some amazing things if you put those two things together. All right, let's now take a look at specific messages for sun, rising, and moon signs. All right, we'll give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming forth. Sun, rising. Let's give it another shuffle for moon. And moon. Okay, for your sun sign, we have the 10 of Pentacles coming through. This is a really powerful symbol here because this is basically Hephaestus or Vulcan sitting at that altar. It looks like basically the smithy or the blacksmith creating something new. So this is your moment to really strike while the iron is hot. If there's something that you want to do, the question here from the universe is, what's the hesitation? And that we got a lot of boss cards this month with the Empress, the King of Pentacles, and things of that nature. And this is basically saying, if you are not getting the support you need from others, by all means, this is a month for you to go out there and to make it happen. The traditional 10 of Pentacles is a little bit more about the people that you know. We can see the network here a lot more clearly. So this is also about reaching out. Remember, I said that you have the ability to go further than before. So maybe it's not your immediate friend, family, or work group, but if you want to find that support elsewhere, we're seeing the network that's kind of waiting for you. This can also be a peer pressure sort of message. So this is saying follow your own inner compass and don't feel like you have to bend to the will, because we're looking at him taking metal and bending it around. You don't have to bend to the will of others. Create your own truth, create your own path. Ultimately, the 10 of Pentacles is success personified here by, like I said, Vulcan or Hephaestus. But in your own life, this is your chance to say, I'm at the forge. I'm the one that's creating this. I do not have to feel beholden to all of these sort of external things. So kind of take me or leave me. But either way, you're going to be happy and successful. Again, there's a reminder this month that success is a subjective sort of thing. It really boils down to fulfillment, making an impact, being able to also possibly change things up so the next generation has more opportunities than you did. Nothing to fear with the 10 of Pentacles card. The reversal of this, just a challenge against conventions, basically. So that's what I'm picking up intuitively when I see that. Let's move on to rising sign messages. Clarity is what we're getting here. Two of Swords reversed is the opposite of the Two of Swords, which is feeling lost or having indecision. When I look really closely at her, it's almost like she has a little mudra there where she's holding her hands in a certain way. Meditation can definitely help you figure out what's next. The Two of Swords in particular represents two compelling opportunities, just like the Two of Pentacles. There's not a clear black and white path. Oftentimes it's subtle or it's not obvious, and sometimes there are risks associated, so you just have to follow your heart this month. What can you do with the Two of Swords? Whether upright or reversed, you can ask questions, you can do research, and ultimately at the end of the day, you'll get enough, just enough so that you can figure out which path to take. You can always retrack your steps if you need to, but the encouragement here is to trust your heart, okay? Let's move on to the moon sign. Oh, one last thing actually before we go to moon. With the rising, the other thing is if someone asks you to ignore or to sweep under the rug something that's really important, you're going to raise your hand and say no. Once basically, what is it, the cat's out of the bag, then there's no putting that back in there. So this is a chance to really make sure that you don't let anybody silence you, and that you don't try to ignore something. Now let's move on to your moon sign here. We have the Ten of Swords, it's in reverse. This is a chance for you to basically not push yourself to the point of exhaustion, first and foremost, for those of you that are perfectionists or are in the company of people that just expect unrealistic things. You're going to stand your ground and basically know when enough is enough. This is about biting your tongue. So Ten of Swords is simply saying whatever at the cost of, sometimes burning a bridge. Ten of Swords reverse is knowing that sometimes it's just not worth taking the bait. And you take a step back and just think, all right, if that's how you feel, fine. And you walk your own path and walk away from that. This is also about healing. Sometimes we have to have that close brush with failure, with death, with difficulty or whatever in order to wake up. And so this is a wake-up call, most importantly and most specifically. So whatever's going on in your life right now that has triggered you, you have the ability to avoid the Ten of Swords this month because you've been there before, or because like the dragonfly, you can see this thing coming from a mile away. So trust your instincts this month. They're going to help you and you'll be able to overcome things. Prioritize your physical health. So many of you may be needing something like massage therapy, physical therapy, acupuncture, what have I missed? Any number of healing modalities. This is a month to take care of yourself. All right. Now let's move on to your final card and final question. This is a chance for you to think of one thing that I haven't yet addressed in the cards. I'll go ahead and shuffle the deck and we'll see what Spirit has to say. So we have the Five of Cups, one of the most beautiful illustrations of the Five of Cups that I have seen recently. And it's basically saying all that you have gone through has provided you now with this ability to see something new. So this includes, if we look at the traditional cards, setbacks. This is oftentimes a card of mourning or disappointment. So sometimes we don't get what we want when we want it. But look what's waiting. There's something really good, and it looks like it's imminent. We see a portal that's opened up. So this card is saying, are you ready now to look at it with new eyes from a new perspective? And are you ready? Do you believe in yourself? And are you willing to take the first step? If you are, I feel like this is a really good time for something new. This traditionally, again, can deal with new opportunity or new love or both. We see the bridge here. Instead of the bridge, we have the portal. So there is an invitation or possibly even a need to move physically or to go the distance to make some big shift happen in your life. But this is a moment where things are looking up, especially the way this particular Five of Cups is. He's literally looking up and he sees something new that he didn't notice before because he was so fixated on what was. So look at the future, not the past. Look at the opportunities in front of you. Embrace those. Something really exciting is about to transpire. As a yes or no card, the message from the universe is why not? But you have to be of sound mind and body. Really make sure that you're balanced and you have your clear perspective before starting whatever it is that you want to start or embracing whatever it is you want to embrace. Give yourself proper time to mourn and to get emotionally again, on the level. And once your emotions have stabilized and you're in a good space, then some good stuff is waiting for you. This is a great month from what I can see. Lots of change, lots of movement. Couple of salient points again. you don't have to rush through anything. If there has been some sort of a mistake or setback, it was one to align you and slow you down long enough to see this. Lots of power cards coming through, lots of change cards coming through. Significant challenge is in the Knight of Cups, so take care of your heart space, all right? Thank you so much, everybody, for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, do me a favor, hit the subscribe if you're brand new. If you've been watching for a while, but you rarely interact, go ahead and like the video as well, and leave a comment below. You could do like a cheetah. Let me know what you're trying to focus on creating some movement in, if you'd like to. All right, in addition to all of this, if you'd like to follow me on social media, my username on most platforms is @NicholasAshbaugh. If you ever have a question or doubt, you can go to my website for official links. Also, here on the About tab, it's all listed as well. If you want to show love and support, you can do it through super stickers, super chat, or super thanks, as well as memberships. A reminder, I do not offer private readings. There are a lot of folks that pop up on different social networks and pretend to be me. If anyone ever asks you for money in a direct message, block them, report them, leave a comment here so that I know about it, and I'll also put in a report. Otherwise, thank you so much, everybody, for showing up here. New videos are released every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, unless otherwise mentioned, and live streams every Sunday if you want to join in. I do a weekly collective. You can also check out my daily one-card readings. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with me. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube, and it means a lot that you decided to hang out here. All right, take care. I'll see you soon, and until then, be well.